The confirmed number of coronavirus cases in Los Angeles County comes to 364,520. The confirmed number of deaths reaches 7,438. Here in Torrance, the total number of confirmed cases is 1,870, with total confirmed deaths at 75. We anticipate those numbers to change as the county updates its last 24-hour operating period. Welcome to COVID-19 Today. I'm Rhiannon Trutanich. It's 4 p.m. on Monday, November 23rd. Outdoor dining will temporarily shut down again at restaurants, breweries, wineries, and bars across Los Angeles County as coronavirus cases continue to surge. Los Angeles County public health officials modified orders restricting outdoor dining beginning Wednesday night for at least the next 3 weeks. With the 5-day average of new COVID-19 cases hovering over 4,000, the modified health order aims at reducing the possibility for crowding and potential for exposure in settings where people are not wearing face coverings. Now, this means restaurants, bars, wineries, and breweries will only be able to offer takeout, drive-through, and delivery services. The earliest patrons could dine outdoors again if restrictions are lifted would be December 16th. Now, if the 5-day average of cases increases to 4,500 or more, or hospitalizations are more than 2,000 per day, a targeted safer-at-home order will be issued for 3 weeks, only allowing for essential and emergency workers to leave their homes. COVID-19 cases have tripled in the state in just the last month, with LA County averaging double the number of weekly cases from just 2 weeks ago. California Governor Gavin Newsom also issued a statewide limited stay-at-home order and overnight curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. for counties in the purple tier, which includes LA, with non-essential work, movement, and gatherings prohibited between those hours. That order is in place until at least December 21st. In an effort to slow the spread, everyone is reminded to continue wearing their face masks, social distance, wash hands often, and stay home whenever possible. California Governor Gavin Newsom and his family are isolating for the next 2 weeks due to a possible COVID-19 exposure. Newsom, along with his wife and 4 children, are in quarantine as of last night when the governor tweeted that 3 of their children may have been exposed to an officer from the California Highway Patrol who had tested positive for COVID-19. The CHP provides security detail for Newsom and his family. Newsom said he was thankful that his entire family tested negative, but will be quarantining for the next 14 days as a precaution. One of his children had already started a 2-week period of isolation after being exposed to a classmate at school who tested positive for coronavirus. COVID-19 vaccines could be available as early as December 12th. A Food and Drug Administration Advisory Committee is set to meet on December 10th to discuss Pfizer's request for emergency use authorization for its developing coronavirus vaccine. Pfizer and its German partner BioNTech recently announced that their vaccine appears to be 95% effective at preventing mild to severe COVID-19 symptoms in a large ongoing study. The FDA's emergency use authorization means instead of the usual substantial evidence of safety and effectiveness that's usually required for approval, the FDA can allow products onto the market as long as their benefits are likely to outweigh their risks. The FDA has already used its emergency powers to authorize hundreds of coronavirus tests and a handful of treatments during the pandemic. Full approval of a vaccine will likely require 6 months of safety follow-up as well as extensive inspections of company manufacturing sites. A third pharmaceutical company is entering the market, potentially offering a COVID-19 vaccine that, while 90% effective, brings other benefits. Late-stage trials of the vaccine is showing that AstraZeneca, in partnership with Oxford University, is showing 70% effective overall of protecting against the virus with up to 90% efficacy. The two-part vaccine includes a half dose first, followed by a full dose a few weeks later. The leading candidates with a potential vaccine may be Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna, which both reported preliminary reports to show they were 95% effective. Now, one of the advantages that AstraZeneca had against the other candidates was the vaccine's ability to be stored, transported, and handled at normal refrigerated conditions for at least 6 months and administered within existing healthcare settings. The cost is also reportedly cheaper as well than its competitors. Pfizer and Moderna, on the other hand, is said to charge a third more per dose for its vaccine, and while it can be stored at the temperature of a standard refrigerator for up to 30 days, for extended periods of up to 6 months, the vaccine must be stored at extremely cold temperatures. The nation's top health official, Dr. Anthony Fauci, said a vaccine that is at least 50 to 60% effective against the virus would be acceptable. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved an emergency use of 2 more antibody treatments for mild cases of COVID-19. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals, Inc., which manufactures both of the treatments, which are called monoclonal antibodies, are laboratory-made proteins that mimic the immune system's ability to fight off harmful pathogens like COVID-19. This was also the experimental drug that President Donald Trump used when he was diagnosed with COVID last month. The treatment can be used for those who are at risk for progressing to severe COVID-19, which include those over 65 or have a chronic medical condition. It is not designed for those who are already hospitalized or on a ventilator. In clinical trials, the 2 antibodies, when administered together, were shown to decrease coronavirus-related hospitalization or emergency room visits in patients. According to the FDA, the safety and effectiveness of this investigational therapy for use in treating COVID-19 continues to be evaluated, and by authorizing these monoclonal antibody therapies, it may help outpatients avoid getting hospitalized and alleviate the burden on the healthcare system. The cruise industry is getting hit again with one of the highest travel warnings for the industry. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention raised the warning against cruise travel to level 4, the highest, advising everyone to avoid getting on a cruise ship worldwide due to the risk of COVID-19. Officials say being on a cruise ship increases the risk of person-to-person spread of infectious diseases, and for those who may be considered high risk, the warning is especially applicable. According to the Cruise Line International Association, the industry is estimating a $32 billion loss this year due to the pandemic. According to the CDC, passengers who decide to go on a cruise should get tested 3 to 5 days after your trip and stay home for 7 days after travel, even if the test comes back negative. For those who don't want to get a test, the CDC recommends staying home following your trip for 14 days as a precaution. A similar update was issued over the weekend for international air travel, recommending that Americans who are choosing to fly out of the country get tested before and after travel, 1 to 3 days before your flight and 3 to 5 days after. While cruising in U.S. waters is suspended through the end of the year, some cruise lines like Holland America, a subsidiary of Carnival, along with Princess Cruises, have gone ahead and voluntarily canceled cruises until April 2021. Despite warnings from the nation's top public health agency, along with state and local officials, millions are still traveling this holiday week. According to the Transportation Security Administration, more than 2 million people were screened at U.S. airports over the past weekend. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention advised Americans to skip Thanksgiving travel and not spend the holiday with people from outside of their household. Los Angeles International Airport tweeted what you need to know to travel safety at LAX video to share what changes have been implemented to offer a safer traveling experience. Passengers should remember to pack a face mask as they are required at all facilities and on the aircraft. You'll find travel ambassadors throughout the airport to remind travelers of all the safety protocols in place. You'll also find many contactless options, from ordering food and drinks to hand washing and hand sanitizing stations. Passengers should stay home if they are sick and follow social distancing guidelines while at the airport. Governor Gavin Newsom launched the opening of the California Rebuilding Fund to help small businesses impacted by the pandemic. The program was built to be a resource in the market for the next year as businesses try and recover from the financial hardships of COVID-19. The fund was developed as a recommendation from the governor's task force on business and jobs recovery, which emphasized the need to ensure that economic recovery is equitable. Newsom said in a statement, this public-private partnership will give underserved communities across California access to capital, making it for a more inclusive economy. Businesses will be able to obtain a loan with affordable and flexible terms up to $100,000. Interested business owners can apply at caloanfund.org. A no-burn alert was issued for today by the South Coast Air Quality Management District. This includes a ban on indoor and outdoor wood burning for the day due to a forecast of high air pollution in the area. This includes residents in the South Coast Air Basin, including Orange County and non-desert portions of Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. November also marks the start of SCAQMD's annual Check Before You Burn season. From now until the end of February, residents are asked to check before burning wood in their fireplaces to limit emissions of fine particulate matter. To learn more, go to aqmd.org. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food Safety and Inspection Service issued a public health alert this weekend. The most recent FSIS-issued warning was for chicken and beef samosa products containing spring roll pastries that were recalled by TYJ Food Manufacturing. While a recall has not been issued, an alert was issued to inform consumers about the misbranding and an undeclared allergen. There have been no known reports of adverse effects. The chicken and beef samosas were produced from November 11, 2019 through 2020 and were shipped to California, New York, and Texas. Two retiring El Camino College Board of Trustees were honored for their years of service. While traditional celebrations were not had due to the pandemic, board members William Beverly and Mary Combs were honored by their fellow board members at last week's ECC virtual board meeting. Between the retiring members, a combined 46 years of service was celebrated. William Beverly represents Area 3, which includes El Segundo, along with the beach cities. He served 29 years to the local community college. Mary Combs, who represents Area 4, which includes Torrance, along with neighboring communities, worked for ECC as an employee in the Student Resource Center prior to serving on the board. During her 17 years, she took an active role in campus activities, including El Camino College Fashion Design Department's annual fashion show, as well as Classified Appreciation Day. Both members were also honored with proclamations and certificates from U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, Assemblyman Al Muratsuchi, State Senator Ben Allen, as well as the City of Torrance. The trustees-elect for Areas 3 and 4 will take the oath of office at the December 21st board meeting. El Camino College is also celebrating their outstanding debate team as they dominated at ECC's Crossman Invitational Forensics Tournament held virtually in October. El Camino's forensics team took home quite a few awards, including the novice and junior division of parliamentary debate, as well as the gold medal in the highly competitive open division. ECC's team also won several first through fourth place finishes in novice extemporaneous speaking, as well as in the novice impromptu speaking division. The tournament, named after ECC Communication Studies professor Mark and Diana Crossman, drew 35 colleges and universities from across the nation, including UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC San Diego, 3 Cal State universities, and about a dozen California community colleges and universities in Oregon, Illinois, Minnesota, and Texas. You may want to consider this perfect holiday gift for your loved ones this year. In the hopes of getting more cats into forever homes and out-of-county care centers, the Los Angeles County Department of Animal Care and Control is waiving cat adoption fees for November and December. The closest animal care center run by the county is located on Victoria Street in Gardena. Appointments are required to visit. You can check out the animals available to adopt at animalcare.lacounty.gov. The city of Torrance is offering the North Pole a helping hand this year. Letters to Santa is a free program to the community for kids to write emails or handwritten letters to Mr. Claus himself. These can be sent to Santa at torranceca.gov, or letters can be mailed to Santa Claus at 3031 Torrance Boulevard, Torrance, California, 90503. Be sure to include your email address, and city elves will be sure to have Santa reply within a week from getting your email or letter. Kids are asked to make sure they get their parents' permission before participating. You can also call 310-618-2983 for more information. Well, before we go at the end of each program, we like to share stories from our community, feel-good pictures, images, and videos that remind us of how resilient our community is and how Torrance truly cares. The Taiwanese American Chamber of Commerce of Greater Los Angeles is continuing in its Million Face Masks for Greater Los Angeles campaign by donating 30,000 face masks to the city of Torrance today. 12 cases, which include 2,500 masks each, were presented to city officials in front of Torrance City Hall this afternoon. They'll be distributed to 9 area senior centers, along with the Torrance Fire and Police Departments and Communities Child. Thank you to Councilman George Chen for facilitating the donation and helping to make it come to fruition. What a great gesture by the organization and all those who helped make this donation happen, especially now as COVID-19 cases surge to record highs. This act of kindness shows caring for others can reach even those abroad as this international effort hits home for us in Torrance. Now, if you have a great story to share, email us at covid19today@torranceca.gov. We'd love to hear from you. Well, that's our update for COVID-19 today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as Christine Lee brings you the latest. Be safe, stay healthy, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.